Audi TT Mk1, replacing your car key and reprogramming it.
Hi all, Andy here and welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to be sharing with you the headaches of broken Audi keys, the options out there for replacing these and hopefully getting your key reprogrammed and working. Tonight's surroundings are a bit different to the garage, but hopefully I will be getting the car in here for a photo shoot rather soon. If you like what you see today, please give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing and check out some of my other content on the Audi TT Mk1 here on the channel. So during a previous video, I managed to get heavy-handed, or should I say heavy-footed, where I kicked the key in the ignition getting out of the car and snapped the key. The bunch of keys that my Audi key sat on is extremely heavy, and I think that's put an unnecessary strain on the key. It's taught me a lesson there straight off the bat, so if you are using an old key, make sure you don't have a heavy bunch of keys hanging from it. I don't know if you can see this, but just after the knuckle, the key flip part here, there is this groove that runs across the key, and I think that's a weak point on the key anyway. So the key blade is sheared off, but the remote part still works. So what are my options? Well, firstly, I can order a new key bank from eBay. I can take it to a locksmith and get it cut. I can phone an Audi dealer and they can order me a new key and reprogram it. I could speak to a mobile locksmith who can come out and cut me a new key here at home. Or fourthly, I can order a pre-cut flip blade for my key from an online key cutter and stick it in my fob. So let's talk through the options. I figured it would be easy to order a new key from eBay, take it to a local locksmith with my existing working key and get them to cut it as a template. No joys here. Sure enough, the key turned up in a couple of days.
And it cost me just £4.59.
A bargain, I thought. It does look very similar to the existing keys, and it can be programmed too.
Worth pointing out, you can't actually program the immobiliser in a new key yourself without a special piece of kit that does the programming. You can, however, reprogram an existing key fob yourself when batteries run flat in it. I will show you this at the end of the video.
Trying to find a local friendly locksmith was a bit more of a challenge. None of the ones I spoke to were really interested in cutting my own key. I guess from their perspective, it's not really much profit in just cutting someone else's key. In fact, one of the locksmiths that I took this to, he said that the material that these keys are made out of are normally quite hard and they can damage their equipment, and he wasn't prepared to do that. So I respect his honesty, but it doesn't really help me out. So next, I phoned the Audi dealer for a price. Now I knew this would be cost prohibitive, but I did it anyway. Personally, I feel it's a job that the dealership doesn't want to take on. It's not worth their effort to do, so they make it so expensive to discourage you from just losing a key and getting another key cut quite easily. If you think about what's involved in reprogramming a modern key, I really don't think they can justify the cost. So next I spoke to 3 mobile locksmiths. Again, one of these guys was very nice and honest. He said to me it was not worth his time and effort to come out and do what I needed because the service he would need to charge for would be over the top. I guess these guys are really aimed at the people that have lost all keys and there to get you out of trouble when you're in that situation. Again, these guys have a place in the market, but for a spare key, it's not for me. So it was at this point that I discovered a solution. So I found a website that will allow you to order a flip key like this, cut to order from a photo for only £12.50. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I had nothing to lose, so I figured I'd give it a go. So I trawled through the various pages on their website and it listed an A3 key, but not a TT key. But looking at the design of it, it looked the same. So what I did was I called the guys at Keys in the Post. I spoke to a guy called John. So the website I'm going to put up here. So the website is www.keysinthepost.com. I ended up WhatsApping him a picture of my key, explaining that the part I needed, and he was very good. He asked me if I needed the knuckle as well or just the key blade. What it is where the key is broken, there's actually if I can show you, there's a pinhole, if you can see there, that holds this blade into this key. So a couple of days later, this key has turned up, and on visual inspection, it does look a pretty good match. Don't know how close that will zoom, but it's a pretty good match. Well, I have since tried it in the door and tried to turn the key with a set of mole grips, and I'm pleased to say it works. So fantastic job there, John, thanks for that. So at the moment I have my working key, my broken key, and my key blank that's unprogrammed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the key blank that I ordered, the new key blank, I'm going to remove the pin, fit the new cut key into it so I know the key will then work. I'm going to reprogram the new key to match the old key. I don't know if this will work yet, but I have seen this is possible. So stick with me and let's try and get that done now.
So here we have the working key, the broken key and the new key. My plan was to punch out the pin from the new key and remove its blank. Take the new blade, fit the key cut by keys in the post, and then try to reprogram the remote. However, this did not turn out so well. While you can reprogram your existing key fobs, this is limited to if one of them loses the ability to lock and unlock the doors, as if the battery has run flat. The new key fob has a different immobiliser chip in it. It's located just here in the key. I did fit the new key blade into the new key fob first, but the car flashed with this warning. Essentially, it is moaning about the immobiliser being engaged still due to not recognising the immobiliser chip or there being no immobiliser chip present. I also noticed when fitting the new key blade that it was too big for the new key fob slot very slightly, so it would have been a bad job all around if I'd forced it in. So I think you would still need an auto mechanic to come out and reprogram a much more expensive key if you lost your spare. That's quite disappointing really. The other alternative I have is to swap the immobiliser chip over from my existing broken key fob from my broken key so that the new key fob would work. With the ill-fitting blade, I figured I should put the new key blade from keys in the post in the old fob. As I have the old fob that works with my car and just a broken key blade, I'm going to punch the pin out of the knuckle in the old fob and try the new key blade from keys in the post in that instead. So here's a more detailed explanation of what I did. Using the square washer as an anvil to lean on, I used this small key repair punch to drive the pin out of the old key fob. So line it up and give it a couple of good whacks with a small hammer. The pin should slip out nice and easy. Don't lose this though, as you will need to put it back. Take a set of mole grips and pull the old broken key blade remains from the slot. With the old key blade stump out of the way, you can slip the new key blade into the slot. You will notice it has a groove on one side. This needs to be in line with the pinhole, as the pin uses this groove to lock the key blade in place. The good news is that this key blade from keys in the post fits like a glove in my key fob, which tells me the aftermarket key from eBay is not all it's cracked up to be. So taking the pin, line out with the hole, and using the drive punch in this little set of punches I got from Amazon, drive the pin home again. Simple as that, nice and secure. Here is a quick guide on reprogramming your existing key fobs if they no longer lock or unlock the doors on pressing. I'm not sure how, but during my attempts to reprogram my eBay key, I somehow wiped the working key fob. So when I clicked the buttons, nothing worked. I started to panic a bit at this point as I had noticed the car would start but not run when I had earlier used the eBay key. The good news is the immobiliser light is not showing, so I think I can follow this process to get them working again. If one of your key fobs is not working and you have two keys, stick the non-working key in the ignition and turn it 2 clicks so all the dash lights are illuminated. Do not start the car though. Next, take your other key and insert it into your driver's door lock. Now turn the key to the lock position to lock the car. Turn it a second time to activate the process. You should hear the doors lock. On your non-working key fob in the ignition, press the lock button once. The indicator lights on the dash should flash once. If they do not, turn off the ignition and start the process again. It sometimes takes a couple of goes. If they do flash, wait around 5 seconds and then press the unlock button. The indicator lights on the dash should flash once again, and you should also hear the clunk of the locks unlocking. Turn the car off and remove the keys from the ignition and the door. Now, try your key fob buttons and they should work once more. As I said, it sometimes takes a few goes to get this right. If it does not work first time, repeat the process.
That is my experiences with Audi TT keys or fixing and replacing broken ones. What have I learned? Well, if you have literally broken the metal part of your key, but the cut part of the key is intact, you can take a picture of it and get a new one car online for £12.50 by going to keysinthepost.com. If you only have one key and you want to get a spare, I would say your best option is to speak to an auto locksmith who can cut you a new key and code you a new immobiliser chip. It's cheaper than a dealership. If you have your original key fobs, but one is no longer working or programmed to the car, you can reprogram this fairly easily. It's handy for a flat battery. I have a couple of jobs lined up for the next couple of weeks which I hope to share on the channel, and that includes removing the LED cluster for repair, fixing the close sensor on the cabriolet roof, and a cam belt and water pump change which I'm going to get done at a local garage. Thanks again for watching guys, and see you soon. Take care. Hurry up because I'm filming. You better get out quick then. So during a previous video I got heavy-handed, or, oh, who's that? Is that you going past again?